Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We want to just start where we do every week in case we have new people who are not familiar with conversations worth having. We just want to give you a quick insight into what we're going to be doing over the next 30 minutes. This is really a working session where you can bring challenges or situations you're trying to figure out, how do I have a better conversation about this? How do I move out of the negative or the problem and into having a conversation worth having? The reason this is so important to us, and especially right now, given the pandemic, is that conversations are a lot like the water in which fish swim. We are always in conversation, either in our own heads or with one another. And those conversations influence everything. They influence our health, our well-being, our relationships, and the possibilities for what we can do in the world together. Just like if the water is toxic, fish can't thrive. If our conversations are toxic, we can't thrive. And so we suggest two very simple practices to turn any conversation anywhere and at any time into a conversation worth having. The first practice is generative questions. And a generative question changes the way you think, either the way you're thinking about something or about someone. It can deepen your relationship with another person, create greater understanding, or it can open up the world of possibilities. The other practice is positive framing. And very simply, that's just talking about what you want instead of what you don't want. So instead of focusing on the problem, focus on what is it that would add value to the person or to the situation. And when you put those two practices together, you end up in a conversation worth having. So we want to put those two practices to work on issues that are relevant and important for you. So if you would, in the chat box, open it up and type an issue or a situation that you're stuck in right now. It could be something that you continually have this negative conversation, or you're observing other people in this conversation that just keeps repeating itself and it's not moving forward. Or you might have people that are dealing with a real serious issue and you're not quite sure, how do I engage with them in a way that actually is going to add value? So type those in the chat box and we're going to take them. We'll get as many as we can do done in the next 30 minutes. And the way we will do that is by using whiteboard. And so once you've put in your situation into the chat box, if you can't get into whiteboard and work there, feel free to add your generative questions in the chat box and we'll be sure to capture them. But if you can join us on the whiteboard, when Jackie shares her screen, you go up to the top and click on View Options. There'll be a drop-down menu. Select Annotate, and that will give you a toolbar that will allow you to create text. If you will quickly go to the Format box and just choose your color and set your font pitch to either 12 or 14. That way, if it's bigger than 14, it takes up a lot of the space. So 12 or 14 pitch, and then just click on the T to text a generative question. So we'll see you on whiteboard.